All right, everybody. Welcome to the Give It Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm your host, the most, Will Buchanan, of course, the man to my left, your right, depending on how your screen is flipped. What do you have for us this evening, sir?
Saudi owned and operated Joe Tonello.
We're going to really just go right into that, huh? We're going to just go ahead and just jump right into that one. With that being said, guys, we are the Give It Podcast, and much like the WWE of recent times, I guess you could say that. We do sometimes do like to flaunt some strong language, and so, although we do try not to cuss very heavily. Why? Because YouTube started to get a handle on that now, and we also do show some trailers that might be just a little too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. Well, but yeah, let's just go right ahead of that one, just because, as Joe has pointed out, yeah, there is some interesting things going on in the wrestling world, specifically with the WWE. For sense and purposes, a lot of news has been going out about WWE, that it possibly may have been sold to Saudi Arabia. However, that is still in flux. However, if you've been under a rock, Vince McMahon has came back. Stephanie McMahon has resigned as co-CEO of the WWE, and apparently there is a bidding war as Vince McMahon wants to put the WWE up for sale. Now, at first, the news did break that a principal, which means that it's agreed on terms, but not on paper, to the Saudi Public Interest Fund, or PIF, was the going story for a little while, because what was happening was, in the event that Saudi Arabia actually did buy WWE, that means that Vince McMahon would be back again as the head of creative. And I know for a lot of us who are currently enjoying WWE right now under Triple H's leadership are all going, oh dear God, why is the storyline of buying WWE up for grabs kind of slightly better than what's going on in WWE right now? But Joe, any thoughts on that? Just as far as where in the world? Because I honestly feel like it's almost like the 2000. It's almost like the 1999 version of WCW being bought out by WWE all over again.
Well, it's been a really wild ride. We also know that Vince McMahon is being sued out of the state of, I believe, South Carolina for what could possibly be illegally reinstating himself as CEO of the company.
Yeah.
We know that Tony Khan and his father are interested in merging AEW with the WWE, so they are potential buyers, although that's a rumor.
Right.
Triple H assures us that he has full creative control, and I say yes. After 5 script rewrites at 5 minutes till showtime, sure you are. We also know that multiple wrestlers said if the thing is sold to Saudi Arabia, they will be quitting effective immediately. We do not know who those wrestlers are, but it has been confirmed. Several wrestlers, like if Vince takes over creative, or if we were sold to Saudi Arabia, we will immediately leave. No word on Sami Zayn, which he hangs the most precariously, considering
of his stance, especially with him being Syrian,
and religious faith. If the Saudi Arabia would take over, I don't know if WWE would be a place for him anymore. But that's all speculation. What we do have confirmed is Vince came in, removed 2 people, installed 2 of his own people, took control back, put himself in the CEO chair. It is confirmed that they are being sued. There is a lawsuit that takeover could potentially have been illegal.
Yeah.
And the Saudi Arabia thing is right now handshake only.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. So the only 2 things are confirmed: of Vince is back and there's a lawsuit. Everything else is pure speculation by the dirt sheets, but with as much money as the WWE makes going over there, wouldn't be surprised. Plus, I wonder what the women's division would be like if they went to Saudi Arabia.
Gone. Look, there's no other way to say this. I mean, the fact that they had a crown jewel event over there, and you saw how much that the women had to go through just to have a match. Now, imagine if Saudi Arabia owned WWE, you wouldn't have a women's division. You wouldn't, in any sort of the frame. Go ahead.
I have a clear picture that we can. As soon as I find it, it's just one of those things that's going to take a moment.
Okay, but no, it's just why you're getting that. But no, it's just the whole thing of just if it is true, and the Saudi private investment private public interest fund does purchase this, then yes, that could be a huge problem. Goodbye women's division, goodbye hardcore, goodbye a lot of things that we actually did enjoy the WWE for. But at the same time, let's look on the upside. There are a lot of bidders and there are a lot of potential buyers. Peacock has shown interest. USA Network, which originally did have for the longest time Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown was actually at one point by UPN, for all those that can remember UPN a long time ago, did used to be a part of that. Eventually did go to Fox for $1 billion deal in which Fox still does show SmackDown. Now, here's the thing. As Joe has so eloquently pointed out, that yes, if it is overseas owned, and yes, Vince is back in creative, will anybody watch it? I'll be honest with you, as a wrestling fan, I would lose interest, because what Triple H is doing, what he's trying to do, he's trying to bring in wrestlers that didn't really get a fair shake. He's trying to actually bring in competition. He's trying to shine more light on the women's division. It's a shame that he won't be able to get Sasha Banks, who is now going by Mercedes Moné because she's now in New Japan Wrestling. At the same time, Naomi also is rumored to possibly be heading to AEW since she's been seen out and about with Jay Cargill. So there is going to be an issue that Triple H is trying to solve. But yes, if it did go back, if Vince did actually get this to work, if the lawsuit was somehow evaded, and yes, if the PIF were able to purchase WWE, then yes, it's more like the beginning of the end. But let's see the picture that Joe's got. I can see that. But you know the scary part about this is he actually would bring back Hulk just for this. He would bring. I'm sorry.
He wouldn't bring back Iranian sympathizer version of Sergeant Slaughter.
No, I can't see. I'll be honest with you. It worked for a bit, but I don't think Sergeant Slaughter could. I don't think the guy whose gimmick is Sergeant Slaughter, I don't think he would do it. I think if that truly happened, you couldn't get the Iron Sheik to come back to WWE. And
this was a wonderful person on Twitter. I love him to death.
He's Iron Sheik is a national treasure that needs to be protected, especially on Twitter. But no, when it comes down to it, I just think that for it to be the beginning of the end, yes, that is if the Saudis do get a hold of it. Now, would it be cool if now don't get me wrong, would it be cool if AEW gets it? Yes. I think Tony Khan has done a great thing with AEW. I think that, maybe with a little bit more control, like let Triple H, I would say that, there's no such thing. There's really no such thing as a big promotion. There really isn't. But I think between Khan and Triple H and Stephanie, if you could bring her back into the fold, I think you can make AEW great. Or if NBC bought it, let Triple H run it. Or if USA bought it, let Triple H run it. I still think it can be great. But again, it would be, if the Saudis did get a hold of the WWE, I think it would be the beginning of the end. Just saying. But speaking of the beginning of the end, Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man trailer came out, and there are so many things going on with it, but we just have to watch it again just because, number one, Jonathan Majors coming as Kang the Conqueror is going to be great. But number two, I think we got a confirmation that someone else is going to be in Quantumania.
You're an interesting man, Scott Lang. You're an Avenger. You have a daughter. But you've lost a lot of time, like me. We can help each other with that. Who are you? I'm the man who can give you the one thing you want. What's that? Time.
It can rewrite existence and shatter timelines. You cannot trust him.
I don't care who this guy is. I just lost so much. He can give us a second chance.
Let me make this easy for you. You will bring me what I need, or everything you call a life will end.
This is all my fault.
You may not want her to watch this.
We had a deal.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose. I'm sorry, Cassie.
I'm going to go ahead and call it what it is. As you can see, guys, that is Ant-Man Quantumania that comes out February 17th. Now, of course, we already know that Kang the Conqueror is going to be a part of this, that the Quantum Realm / the Microverse is going to set the stage for this. However, I think we can finally say that MODOK may actually be a part of this. So, Joe, your thoughts on that? That they're, we're getting introduced to MODOK in the MCU via Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania?
That Photoshop is terrifying.
Photoshop is terrifying.
Like if he's like bald, when he's bald MODOK, where he's just a head, that's some terrifying Photoshop they've done there.
The things that
Combat
Nightmare
MODOK is fine, but like normal MODOK, that's just terrifying. That looks like siphon filter face.
Not siphon filter face. Oh man. But no.
I do wonder if that's supposed to be not Wasp, Yellow Jacket.
I wouldn't be surprised because again, he wasn't killed, he was just simply shrunk down. So there is a chance that Yellow Jacket, he still might be alive in the Quantum Realm. So that would still be wild if that translated to him being MODOK. I mean, I can see that to a certain extent, but they're gonna have to explain that.
Kang has super science.
So what?
Kang with his super science.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, they're trying to make this seem like Ant-Man may actually be killed in this, which the fan theories are already circling. Ant-Man Scott Lang could possibly be, be Kang the Conqueror's first fatality. Because it does kind of give a Captain America Civil War feel to this. But again, it's all speculation until we get to February 17th, which feels like days away at this point for the beginning of Phase 4. But Joe, anything else to add to this before we get to the really bad, hopefully quick through news that we have on two different news parts?
I still want to know what Bill Murray's part in this is.
Don't we all? You know what? Watch it would be something. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. What if it's an MCU character that we never considered?
That or he's just another version of Kang.
I'm gonna go with very unique MCU character. There's so many of them, but it's like that would fit Bill Murray because we would never expect that. But
yeah, it's gonna be a deep, deep pool.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be something from that area. But again, Quantumania, February 17th. Let us know what you think or what predictions you have in the comments. But yes, we do have two bits of news that we are going to go through very quickly just because, one, we're shocked that we heard this, and two, we're not shocked because it's Hollywood. I figured just go ahead and get through this. We're going to start with the Reverse Flash. What I mean by the Reverse Flash, I mean Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller, if you guys haven't been paying attention last year, he is the actor, still the current actor to play the Flash in DC. Is the star of the Flash movie that is still long to come out with him and Michael Keaton, and is also the same person that has accrued many an arrest and multiple crimes. But somehow, some way, news has just came out that he's expected to enter a guilty plea for trespassing as an agreement to drop the burglary and larceny charges. And he will also see no jail time. I said it once, I'll say it again. This man is the Reverse Flash in real life. Joe, I know you. Joe, I know you've gave your opinions on this as well as the movie, but anything else, sir, that you want to add to this?
Must be nice being famous.
Apparently, I still say whoever his PR team or whatever load of dirt he has on somebody, that's the only thing I can come up to.
It's WB needing him for the press junket, so they're going to drop as much money as they can to keep him out of jail.
I guess so. I mean, he is the Reverse Flash in real life. Don't let him play Barry. Give him Thawne. At this point, he is the Reverse Flash. But yeah, he'll be. I mean, supposedly, like I said, won't be seeing jail time. You know, he's seeing a suspended sentence, which means that as long as he doesn't get in trouble, you know, he'll ride it out. His record will be wiped, and it'll be like it never happened. I will never understand that for the life of me. But like I said, either his PR team or he's got dirt on somebody. But the other story that we have is very surprising, and I did not think we would hear something like this. Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland charged for domestic violence. The same guy, who helped create Rick and Morty, the same guy who also created High on Life, which is a first-person shooter, which is very interesting in the very Rick and Morty universe, was coming back in court because of a 2020 complaint. Now, I know for a lot of you guys thinking 2020, are you kidding? I said yes, because we had COVID, and court backlogs are still catching up from last year. And of course, he's appearing in this complaint, which he did plead not guilty to. But it did shock a lot of people that, you know, he's being connected to domestic violence. Now, of course, on Give It Podcast, domestic violence is no laughing matter. We do not condone it. We do not endorse it. And whoever actually, and I'm sorry,
I said no, do not.
Yeah, we do not condone it anyway. And of course, if it does, and of course, if you do commit this, we hope that, well, basically you get it to the fullest extent of the law. That's how we feel about it. But to think that we're seeing this from other people, I mean, it's shocking, really. But Joe, anything that you want to add to this?
I wonder if this is why Dan Harmon wasn't in that new video game that Justin Roiland worked on.
Possibly. Although he has pleaded guilty, not guilty to both charges, but still, this is going on a court backlog, which makes me think, it really does make me think, what other cases are out there if that was just the tip of the iceberg, really?
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I said before, we don't condone it. We don't endorse it. For the simple fact of the matter is, guys, like I said, if you are charged with it and you're guilty as all of it, may the book, the sink, and everything else be thrown at you. That's how we feel about it. But anyway, I'm sorry, what you said, Joe?
Said yep.
But we had to get to that little nasty business first. So, new game. So we're gonna get to some games. First, I did want to cover this. This is a trailer for Outpost Infinity Siege, which did catch my eye because number one, I like first-person shooters. RTS games or real-time strategy games, not so much. But what this particular game does is actually combine both, and it makes me look forward to it. But here's the trailer for Outpost Infinity Siege.
Attention, Operation Starfall is in the final preparation stage. All outposts, prepare for engagement. Today will be remembered forever.
Arrived at the target location. Waiting for orders.
We are the vanguard. We stand guard against humanity's extinction. We are the last outpost.
All right, so that was Outpost Infinity Siege, guys. Like I said before, it's an interesting game because it combines first-person shooting with real-time strategy. So you are building your outposts in defense as well as actually in the middle of the fight, which, again, it intrigues me. Like I said, it takes the best of both worlds. But I'm definitely looking forward to it once it definitely does come out. It's due to come out sometime this year. Unfortunately, they didn't give a date on that. But Joe, any thoughts on Infinity? On Outpost Infinity Siege that we just watched?
Oh yeah, this gunfire's numbers, not bullets. I'm down.
Cool, because again, like I said before, comes out in 2023 when we do have a date, because we do understand that Xbox and PlayStation are bound to have showcases. I think Xbox is bound to have a showcase a lot sooner than PlayStation, but we will keep you up to date on that. Speaking of
Xbox One did put out an announcement because they are starting to do the Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
They did say Star Citizen will not be on that will not be on that showcase. It will get its own individual showcase later. Now the question is, what the hell is Xbox showing? Because it's got nothing other than Star Citizen.
You know what? I know Dead Space, but Dead Space is more of a PlayStation exclusive. Well, no, it's not a PlayStation exclusive. It'll be on PlayStation, but it's not exclusive. I can see the Dead Space remake, but again, I saw the Dead Space remake. Unfortunately, we cannot play it on this. Play it on Get Big Guys. It's just a little too gory. So, and I mean, trust me, it is. I'm sorry.
Banjo 3.
I mean, we can't
grab by the ghoulies too.
I know, but it's like Callisto Protocol. There's a reason why I couldn't play the Callisto Protocol trailer. Same reason why we can't play Dead Space Remake. But again, looking forward to that. But also, there's another game that Joe did bring to my attention that Dragon Ball Z's Kakarot will be having a new DLC, Alone Against Fate. Joe, do you want to talk about it first, or should we go ahead and play
this dropped today.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically the Legend of Bardock special, where you go through everything. You get, how do I quote? Yeah, I'll just use the Team 4-star. You get your stupid ass psychic powers, and you go to fight Frieza, and then you die. But you get to go on the same planet. They do expand the lore a little bit in this game because that is what this game is about.
Yeah,
you see some things out there, like you learn that Beastmen were actually a fashion statement. You get to see what Launch was doing during the duration of Dragon Ball Z. So you get to spend some time with what the hell were they called in English? I only know the Japanese names. Well, Bardock's crew. We'll go with there. You get to hang out with Bardock's crew. You get to see Prince Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see Nappa with hair. You get to see the planet Vegeta as it was before going boom.
That's just
So,
gonna
I
be weird.
mean, you
That's gonna
know
be
the beats if you're a Dragon Ball fan, but you get to see the expanded look at what life was like on planet Vegeta,
That's gonna be
which
so weird to see
I
Nappa with
kind of
hair.
dig. But
I'm
still,
sorry,
your Bardock with stupid ass psychic powers getting ready to get blown up by Frieza. That's the gist of this thing.
Nappa with hair.
It was like a small tuft of hair on the top. There's
Oh,
an array of hair.
I think that's what's sticking with me right now. I can't really see him with hair, but I guess we're going to.
Yes, hair.
Here's the Bardock trailer.
Frieza! Show your damn face! You're dead. Do you hear me?
It would be a shame. I, Emperor Frieza, will graciously engage you in combat.
You arrogant bastard!
Now then, when you're ready.
Frieza! You guys ready to get started? Let's do this! This hunk of rock is finished.
If only those heads weren't so easy to pound in.
Here's hoping the next plan's a better one. Prince Vegeta, huh?
I'm going to get even stronger. The whole universe will tremble before me.
What's Lord Frieza want with a dump of a planet like this anyway? I hit you with my fabled future punch technique. How does it feel knowing the future? Knowing that your days are numbered? That's enough! Gotta rally the troops and take Frieza out! Damn you! Damn you all to hell! Those were my friends!
You and all the other monkeys are about to get wiped out by Lord Frieza!
Like hell we are. You and Frieza are dead then!
You fool. You would have been better off cowering in fear and accepting your fate.
If I stop Frieza here and now, things will be different!
I intend to rid the universe of every last one of you.
This is it. Gotta put everything on the line. It's me. It's gonna be me. The future. I'm gonna change it.
That was a lot.
I can see the future.
That was a lot, but yeah, that's actually the next one up. Alone Against Fate DLC with Bardock for Project Kakarot looks actually pretty fun. But yeah, as Joe said, I'm sorry, I just can't get past that Nappa with hair. But speaking of other games we're going to cover, we do have a couple.
There was one other thing with the trailer is that we get what the next DLC is, and that
go for it.
The next DLC. If you're not sure what the outline is, that is. Final, that is 16 or 18-year-old Goku, because the next DLC is OG Dragon Ball. It is the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. So that is famous fights like Piccolo versus Krillin, Piccolo versus Goku, Tien versus Master Roshi, Yamcha famously getting dunked on by an old man possessed by Kami.
That's still funny.
I mean, it's Yamcha. His relevance went down the very moment he beat Goku in the third episode of Dragon Ball. So,
yeah, no argument there, but still funny.
But no, I like that we're getting Dragon Ball DLC in a Dragon Ball Z game, especially one as good as the 2013 Tenkaichi Budokai.
Agreed. But it's just weird that they start with Bardock. It's almost like, okay, I mean, Bardock is one of those characters that folks do like to play. So I guess that's the reason why they're going with it. I was kind of hoping they would start more with the power, with the tournament of power, and go from there. But like I said,
Kakarot only covers Z, so their DLC was Battle of Gods,
right?
Resurrection F, Trunks Miracle of Hope, the Trunks special.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep it within the realm of Dragon Ball Z. So, like, I appreciate that we are getting, like I said, OG Dragon Ball. If they were going to do anything, I'd want them to do the Brawly or maybe superhero. But like, if they're going to do it, go OG Dragon Ball. Just to let the next one be the King Piccolo arc.
Mountain Dew Piccolo. I'm sorry, it still sticks with me.
I mean, you just turned into Baja Blast Orange Piccolo.
That is true. I mean, you might as well be Baja Blast at this point. But anyway, thanks for that, Joe. But we do have a couple of video game reviews. I have one and Joe have one, but I want Joe goes with his because I want his opinion on this because he is playing a game that I currently have on my wish list to pay. I have to pay in order to play it. But I want Joe to talk about this, sir. What was your opinion of One Piece Odyssey, sir?
So I'm in the third hour of the game. This is very new, user-friendly for One Piece people, especially considering the game is all about, like most One Piece games, reliving the past.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a different way. This is a full JRPG, Japanese voice cast. Combat system is rock, paper, scissors, except this time it's power, speed, technique. You don't have to do too much in gathering the crew this time. What it is the crew has been depowered to what they were in early One Piece via gimmick that is surprisingly not a devil fruit this time.
Yeah.
So this takes place in between Punk Hazard and this takes place after Dressrosa, but right before Full Cake. So
gotcha.
Right after he beats Don Flamingo, but before he gets to Big Mom.
Okay.
So Luffy has Gear 4, but he doesn't have Snake Man. He doesn't have his Emperor level of observation, and he doesn't have Joy Boy Gear 5.
Okay.
So unless there's DLC later on. I'm sure that'll be the case, because you're not going to pass up being able to get that Gear 5 in this game. So the whole thing is them trying to regain their memories. Certain crew members were not with the crew at certain points, so you get their take on things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it thus far. It's a good story. Ichiro Oda has done direct work with this game, much like One Piece World Red, not to be confused with the movie One Piece Red.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm enjoying it thus far. Again, this is very, very friendly for newcomers to One Piece because they're essentially walking you through the big beats of early One Piece to help you get caught up. The levels are Alabasta, Water 7, Mainford, because everything's going to make you cry. Every time you play a One Piece game, you're going to have to cry. And then the main island itself. Look, I didn't cry during Mainford. I cried during Water 7 because my favorite character was the center focus.
To this day.
Look, Robin's stage he wants to live is more important than someone getting a hole through him.
Oh, to this day. That's almost there right now. To this day. I'm going to leave it.
I really enjoyed it. I recommend it. Like I said, if you're new to One Piece, you can enter this game and not feel lost. Everybody is very straightforward of who they are. And then the game itself will actually fill you in as you go as to what's going on.
Cool. It's one of those games that I have listed, so I just can't. Once I have a chance to play it, I'm definitely looking forward to it. So thanks for that, Joe. My game that I have, guys, of course, is the Callisto Protocol. As I talked about, this was one of the games I was looking forward to when I first saw the trailer. It is pretty much if Dead Space had a grandchild, this would be it. A lot of people are sitting there. I know the long and short of this, guys, I will put it this way. If you're a fan of Dead Space, you're going to love Callisto Protocol. I will tell you off the bat right now, whatever you believe about Dead Space, they go a whole different way with it. I'm just talking combat strategy, and trust me, it's different. It's different, but in a good way, because number one, it's going to be challenging. It's not Dark Souls. It's not like Dark Souls difficult. But you will be pulling out your hair a few times. But that's the reason why we like these games. They challenge us. They make us think differently and outside the box. And again, as a person that loves a good story, Callisto Protocol definitely has an awesome story. I will not say anything of it. I will just simply say you will not be disappointed. Game time. Let's see. I kind of played 3 hours every 3 hours on a 2-week basis. So, I mean, if you're a hardcore gamer, you can probably beat it within 4 days. But that's like well over close to 45 hours of gameplay. So you get a averagely good time gameplay on this. But like I said, not to spoil away, great story, great schematics. I had very little issues with bugs in the game, which is a plus. I always love that. But yeah, if you were on the fence about Callisto Protocol, if you're a fan of Dead Space, first-person shooters, survival horror games, this is definitely up your alley. But I was very, very happy with paying the $60 for this. So, but going forward, guys, those are two games.
I do have an indie recommend, because I actually did get an indie game. I stumbled upon this little thing called Cloudpunk, where it's not what you think. It's not fantasy. The best way to put it, are you looking for a trailer or something?
Oh, I was gonna ask you a question, but no, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What's the question?
No, because I was gonna say what is it? I was like, Cloudpunk sounds familiar. I could have sworn I've heard that name somewhere.
So
but go ahead.
You're a delivery driver in the world of similar to that of Blade Runner, or what Bruce Willis was in the opening of Fifth Element, where you're a taxi driver in a sky car.
Mm-hmm.
And just big cyberpunk world. You fly around.
I do remember this.
Yeah, pull it up.
Okay, I hang on. I looked it up.
I'm only about an hour in. I installed my car's personal AI, which turns out to be a because I love this. Your car's memory is not as good as your original car that you like. Your personal car. Mm-hmm. So the AI is of an Australian sheepdog, but because the car's memory is bad, he talks like a typical dog. It's like, I'm a good boy.
I could have sworn, wasn't this on one of the it wasn't during the video game wars. Didn't we see this at E3?
Maybe.
Because that's what I was trying to think about when I saw this. I was like, Cloudpunk sounds like a name I've heard before.
Yeah, I stumbled upon this because I'm playing another game called The Observer, which is very much cyberpunk, concerning Kiefer Sutherland is the main character. Where you're basically playing a version of what Harrison Ford was, except his thing is he's a crime scene investigator as opposed to someone hunting.
He's also a replicant, but go ahead.
Yeah, as opposed to hunting replicants, he's a crime scene investigator, but that's Observer. This one, you're a delivery person, and that's as far as I've gotten now. But like, the world looks like it came out of Roblox or Minecraft, but whoever did it, it is gorgeous. It is fun to play. It's about 2 years old, but I got it on like PlayStation Game Pass, like 85% off, so it was only like $6.30.
Gotcha. Okay, no, I have to give that a shot.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm going to give that a shot then. But speaking of shots, because I feel like this has to be played, and Joe's seen this. I have not. But two words.
Do we want to load the article first, or do we want to play the clip first?
No, not the Gundam one. I'm going to go Mel Brooks first. Mel Brooks first before we get to Gundam.
Oh, yes, Mel Brooks.
Because Mel Brooks, a name that for a lot of us with me and Joe's age, could remember films such as Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, and a few other ones.
Search for More Money.
And yeah, I'm still waiting on Spaceballs 2, Search for More Money. Movies that probably would not get played today, but in our time were hilarious. Well, it seems that we are going to get a sequel to History of the World. Here's a trailer for it.
Telegram from
Hi, I'm
I'm Mel Brooks, yeah. The guy who brought you The Producers, Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs, and Blazing Saddles. And now I am proud to present the long-anticipated follow-up to my film, History of the World Part 1. We're calling it History of the World Part 2. Roll it.
I've got some marketing materials to show you. Let's just jump right into it.
Where's Noah?
Hey, guys. I'm Jesus. Judas. General Grant.
Mary Magdalene.
Princess Anastasia.
Sigmund Freud.
Kublai Khan. Rasputin.
Amelia Earhart.
Marco. And the other guy says, Polo. It's better in a pool.
Hands up where I can see them.
Good gravy is Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman, the inventor of the bathtub?
How did these dumbasses enslave us?
Some call me Jesus Christ, son of God.
Some call him broken corny.
That woman is enchanting.
You grabby bitch.
Anything else? Are we dropping the accent?
We're dropping the accent!
There! Who is this?
Your mama. If you're my mother, what is your last name?
Mel.
That's my mother. That confirms it.
Feuergewalt! Oh!
You're a virgin.
Wow.
You want Jesus to be white.
That's not what I'm saying. Don't you put words in my mouth.
History of the World, Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2.
If this was on Netfish, I would cancel my subscription.
I love that they made Joe Magliano the Pope.
Oh man. Oh, you know what? That there is nothing else that can be said beyond that. It's Mel Brooks. If you have never, okay, hang on a second. Gotta get my face right. If you've never seen History of the World Part 1, number one, highly recommend you should, just because
I have these 15 commandments. 10
commandments. If you have not seen History of the World, you definitely should. So for all those that have seen Part 1, you already know Part 2 is going to be up. And I mean, that is definitely up the ante. Dear Lord.
The other thing I can recommend for Mel Brooks.
And
honestly, it is a disservice if you do not get the audiobook.
Yes.
But you need to get the audiobook of his biography, It's All About Me by Mel Brooks. The book is fantastic. The audiobook is even better because he narrates it and sings about every chapter for you.
Mm-hmm. But no, History of the World, that's going to be interesting. A 4-night event on Hulu. So again, we will be watching it and we will be giving our review of it. But just know, if it's like Part 1, you going to be crying.
I wonder what the WB commissary looks like nowadays.
Just wrong. Okay, we gotta get to Gundam. Oh, what do you start with, Joe? Because this is all
right. We'll play the slap and then we'll play the article because people, I have been watching Gundam since I was a wee child. Let me put it this way: what we're about to notice is very graphic. Maybe a bit more graphic than what we're used to showing, but know that this is not by far not the worst thing that's ever been shown on Gundam before.
All right, you've been warned.
I've seen Victory Gundam. This still doesn't beat Victory Gundam.
Here it is.
"地球に帰れなくても、お前とはここで差し違える!"
けに来たよ。ミオリネさん。なんで笑ってるの？人殺し。
Not to give me a
Hang on a second. The look on her face was, it's like you just open palms. You just open palm and said, "Oh, need a hand?" And just look on her face like, "You murderer! How do you not see?" Oh, the look, it's almost like it's childlike innocence, but a little bit of fire starter. Oh wow.
Well, I mean, remember, this is a child who mercilessly killed 3 pilots at the age of 3, thinking they were birthday candles. So
that is also true, but that was her mom's fault. Oh dear Lord, that was her mom's fault. Just imagine their birthday. Why did I feel like that was a Walking Dead moment? Just look at the flowers. Just imagine their birthday candles. Oh, I was like, no, this is how murderers happen.
So because this happened,
Mm-hmm.
This upset so many new Gundam fans because they were just used to goofy high school hijinks. Because, that's what this was. It's Wild Tanuki Girl and friends do mobile suit duels for consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, as the article says, welcome to Gundam.
Pretty much. I'm like, were y'all expecting warm and fuzzies? I mean, I was reading this a little bit during the trailer during the clip was playing, and I was just like, people are shocked by violence in Gundam.
Well, these are the new kids. These are the new people because, like I said, Selene and Mio Renee brought in a lot of new fans, like new people left and right. So this episode, that's the least of this episode, the slap. That's just what we're calling it collectively for us who just like
what do the five Gundam fingers say to the soldier? Slap.
Well, they've already edited it to where he dodges, flips, and lands and starts firing on the Gundam. But no,
that didn't take long.
People, if you're not familiar with the Gundam franchise, that is like that's just the tip of the iceberg. So much more terrifying things have happened to so many more people in the series.
Oh dear God, we could take iron-blooded orphans and just make that and just have them just looking every which way wrong.
The last 3 episodes of Zeta Gundam.
That too. That I will use that too. But no, I just thought that was interesting. I said, y'all, this is why I sit there and say, if you're now, first and foremost, me and Joe are definitely not being gatekeepers. We do welcome you to Gundam.
Oh no, definitely welcome by all means.
You are welcome. It's like the one thing we always want to sit there and say, you are welcome, especially if you are new Gundam fans. However, we do have to make you, because we're opening the door, we're extending the welcome mat. We feel like we have to give you some background.
The majority of all Gundam involves child soldiers fighting in a war, losing loved ones at every turn.
Pretty much.
Horrific things happen to these people. Some people have their mind utterly destroyed. Some people are holding their decapitated mother's head in a helmet dropped off by the enemy. Some pilots get killed by a beam saber while changing into a flight suit. Most of these things I'm actually talking about come from one series alone.
Exactly.
Now, if you do want your sugary Gundam, in all Gundam is fine. I have yet to see a bad one. Well, I take that back. Age until the final arc of Gundam Age. That one was. Oh, and Build Divers. Yeah, Build Divers was bad.
Build Divers is probably the safest one. That'll probably be the safest one.
That's Build Fighters and Build Fighters Try. Build Divers is the one where it was an MMO.
Yeah, but still, both are considered safe, I guess.
Yeah, those are safe Gundams. Those are more like Tanuki Girl and Friends.
Yeah.
Still kind of trying not to laugh.
No, you and me both. You and me both were sitting there laughing on the other end. I'm not gonna look. You laughed, I laughed. I don't feel no shame in that.
Now, welcome to the club, guys. Just remember, from here on out, it's going to be more like that than it is the previous 11 episodes.
Right.
Like, get ready to get really attached to people and then have them die needlessly, because the real point of Gundam is that war is futile, war is terrible and pointless, and lives are lost almost nonsensically and without even meaning.
Pretty much. But also real quick before we get to the rest of the news that we have, before we get to comics, I did want to say this for all those that are wondering about Trigun Stampede. I did watch first episode. Yes, there are some changes, but my God, it was still fun as all get out to watch. And I know the changes being that there may be 2 character distinctions that are different from the original, but again, I don't want to spoil it because from the start, it does change how they did the story initially. So I would highly recommend to watch it. You will not be disappointed. Joe, you said that you liked it as well.
Oh yeah, I like that the story changes. I like that we know what the stakes are right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we know what the background is right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I like that we don't have to have Vash piddle around for what was in the original one? 4 episodes before he even drew his gun?
Yeah, 4. It was 4.
It was 4.
Yeah.
Like, we get to see that Vash is legit what he says he is.
Mm-hmm.
Millie is pretty much, like, for the most part, unchanged. I mean, she's a news reporter as opposed to an insurance agent, but, you know.
Yeah,
and plus, on the top of this one, so what that does is let us tell a newer story while also going after the same plot. We're still after Knives.
Yeah.
But now we know what Knives did.
Yeah.
Now we know why Knives did it. Now we don't need like the last 5 episodes of the series being about Rem and Knives and Vash as a kid. We know that right off the bat, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's already been confirmed that Johnny Young Bosch is coming back to do the voice of Vash the Stampede.
He's already that's been confirmed.
I want to know if Robert De Niro is coming back to is going to be coming to voice Robert De Niro. Yes, the character is legit named Robert De Niro.
I just remembered that. I just remembered that.
I cannot do a good Robert De Niro, so I won't even try it. But you know.
Oh dear, I just remembered that. But no, but seriously, guys, Trigun Stampede. If you're worried about it, highly recommend that you should watch at least. Give the first episode a shot, and then, of course, make your own distinctions from there. Although, what is funny, I don't know, it says a lot about our mental state. So now that we're going into the rest of the news before we get to our comic book pulls.
We just laughed our asses off at a robot palming a man to death, right?
Yes, which says a lot about our mental states because we're going to laugh about this one too. What I mean by that is Michael Bay is facing charges for killing a pigeon. Michael Bay is currently facing charges in Rome for the alleged death of a pigeon on the set of Six Underground. Bay denies the claim, saying that no animals were involved in the production, were injured or harmed, or any other production I've worked on. It kind of says a lot that, I mean, forget the fact of a slow news day, but is it bad that Michael Bay, a man who is known for explosions, terrible stories, and beautiful women, and single-handedly destroying the Transformers franchise, may actually see some charges because of his latest movie that he's on, that he actually may face crime for murdering a pigeon?
I mean, you know, it's an errant pigeon. It's something that he can't control. Bird flies onto his set and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hold on.
No, you're good. But no, it's just the thing. It's just the thing that I'm just stuck on this. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Pigeons, all animals except snakes and spiders. I'm sorry. We can do without both of those. But, I mean, birds, you do kind of want to watch out for them. But to think that he's currently facing charges for killing a pigeon, and this is not by PETA. I mean, we'll never get. I mean, he'll never see crimes for murdering the Transformer franchise. But you know, what were you gonna say, Joe?
I wonder which one this was, squid or pesto.
Dang it! You beat me by half a second. For all those that don't know, if you've never seen Animaniacs, highly recommend that you should. You'll see where that joke came from.
But it wasn't Bobby.
No, we like Bobby. Bobby needs to stick around. But beyond that, we do have a couple of news bits. This one I want to start with first because I wanted Joe's opinion on this. Guys, do remember, of course, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and where the last bit we saw was America Chavez training at Comertage, which, if y'all don't remember, spoiler alert, that was at the end, near the end of the movie before that was before Doctor Strange and Cleo decided to jump to the dark dimension to solve an incursion. This led to a possible question. Are we going to see Strange Academy in Disney Plus? For all those that don't know what Strange Academy is basically Doctor Strange kind of taking an X-Men role, except not mutants, but train the next generation of those practicing the mystical arts. Now, right now, it is a rumor. I do stress this very heavily. Rumor. Nothing has been confirmed. Nothing has been done with Disney Plus. However, if you think about the MCU, they are branching on different territories as we're moving along in the phases. Would it fit? I believe so. Strange Academy does have a wonderful comic book line, does have a lot of great stories. We can introduce a lot more characters to the MCU that way. That being said, Joe, I wanted to ask you, is it worth doing Strange Academy now as we're about to start incursions a la Secret Wars? Or do you think this needs to be pushed down the line? Or should this be its own separate entity altogether since it is surrounding Strange?
Well, now that Bob Iger's back, he actually stated that a lot of stuff is going to be going back to quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what puts that off in my mind right away. Would I love it? Yes, I would love a BD Wong-centered episode where he is the headmaster of a school with, school shenanigans, although this could also be an animated series just as easily because like a lot of the characters do not have are pretty easily able to be introduced except for Doyle.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, Doyle could be introduced because we already had Dormammu.
Yeah.
So, Doyle or Dormammu would be a thing. But, like, the Enchantress's kid's got to be changed to somebody else. Stuff like that. I would really like it. I absolutely would. I see this, if it was going to move forward, I would see this moving forward as an animated series over a live-action series.
I can see animated. I think animated would work a lot better. I agree with you. Animated would work better than live action, just because Strange Academy would be more directed to kids. At the same time, a Wong-centered Strange Academy instead of a Doctor Strange center, a Strange Academy does make sense. But yeah, I would actually dig it just because we possibly could see characters like Brother Voodoo. We could see Magic and maybe occasionally a Scarlet Witch. We could probably see that if we go the animated route, but.
Doctor Strange barely runs the academy anyways. It's mostly just Brother Voodoo.
True. So that's why I'm thinking like it could work, but I think there's a time and a place for it. But again, this is rumors, guys, and I say this very heavily. Rumors, nothing has been put in place yet. Keep in mind, we are still coming off the heels of Multiverse of Madness. As we know, the next time we're going to see Doctor Strange, more than likely is going to be with Clea, fighting an incursion or post incursion for all we know. But moving right along, guys.
This gives us Bats the Ghost Hound.
He's
still obsessed with Spider-Man.
We probably will get that. But jumping from Marvel to DC, guys, we do got to go to this. Batman. Matt Reeves, the Batman, has again. He's given us two bits of information. Number one, he is quoting to expand on his telling of the Batman, concerning the fact that it was a very successful movie and that they're already writing and pinning a sequel to the Batman. So he is sitting there saying that he is wanting to extend the Batman to have its own universe, which is great. I can see a little bit of that just because HBO Max is still going with Colin Farrell's The Penguin story. There is still rumors that there are still maybe other DC stories told within the same Gotham universe. Those have yet to be determined, considering the fact that Warner Bros. Discovery is still gutting a lot of the content as well as shows they're nixing from there. The other part is Matt Reeves also talked to DC's new head honchos, James Gunn and Peter Safran, about inclusion into DC Studios universe with his Batman. Although at this point they are just meeting to discuss possible options, nothing at this point has been set in stone. So do I like the fact that Batman is getting a sequel? Yes. I thought Robert Pattinson pulled off a great year one Batman. I thought how they did the Riddler was actually very well done. The fact that Joker was in the shadows, but not always the main center point, was very well done. Does it deserve a sequel? Absolutely yes. Does it need to be in the DC continuity? I will also say yes, because before I hand this off to Joe, the problem with DC is that everything has always been separated. You had separate timelines, you had separate stories, but you somehow had a team up that didn't make sense on a timeline chronological scale. Now, can Robert Pattinson's Batman, who is obviously younger, fit inside Gunn's future for DC Studios? Absolutely. He's already going with the younger Superman. He's already going with the, I mean, it looks for all intents and purposes, he is going with the younger Batman. So why not fit it with, of course, he's basing this off his Justice League Unlimited influence. So why not go with Robert Pattinson, who's already established year one Batman, and just make it a part of his continuity? I see no issue with that. But if he were to do that, then yes, that does bring up the problem with the ever-expanding Batverse that Matt Reeves wants to do. But Joe, what's your thoughts on that?
I disagree with about most of it. I think the meeting is so that they can nail down, hey, we're going to be doing our Batman in the story in the DCU lineup. What villains are you using? What stories are you using? That way we don't run in parallel. Because unfortunately, the Batman 2 has to be no man's land because of how they ended the first one.
Pretty much.
Which somehow the stories always end up becoming no man's land for some weird reason.
Just lazy writing, but I see your point. Because they always do origin stories. It's always origin stories.
I mean, hopefully Gunn will do like Long Halloween or something, because that turned out real well in animated. I mean, we know Snyder only read Dark Knight Rises, and Dark Knight Returns. So, you know. I would see that as that one. If it was up to me, since this is flooded, do a big Mr. Freeze thing, and for God's sakes, make Stanley Tucci Mr. Freeze.
I can see Stanley. I was going to say Stanley Tucci as Mr. Freeze would be interesting. And Mr. Freeze never really did get a fair shake in the movies.
He did not.
He did not get a fair shake. I mean,
or let James Gunn have it, Mr. Freeze, and make him the sorrowful or forced to be a villain Freeze. Like, we all like pin it on that Freeze, but that's really the only Freeze like a lot of us knows.
Yeah, versus the Freeze that was forced, like I said, forced to basically be a villain. I mean, I get that. Or, you know, you could even introduce, like, I always, like, if I was Gunn and I'm doing Batman, I'm like, give me a Batman rogue from his rogue gallery give me a villain from his rogue gallery that never really did get shine, but really can have a different twist on it. Like, you can take the Mad Hatter.
You can't do Mad Hatter.
Yes, you can, and I think you can. Now, I'm just using that as an example. I'm using Mad Hatter as an example, just the same way. Like, I wish we could see Brendan Fraser's Firefly. I still want to see that, just because Firefly was always one. Mad Hatter was always one. I kind of want to see. I mean, Victor Zsasz, it's kind of already been done before as a different villain, so we can go over that, but I want to see a different twist on a villain that nobody would ever consider, because
Professor Pig.
Professor Pig, another one. Again, these are all villains that never really, I mean, yes, we saw them in the Arkham games that they could be great, but on the big screen, it's like, what, you know, you can go a different direction and make them more menacing or sinister or intelligent or cunning. You can do that. And I think that can be done on a Reeves Batman or in the Gunn universe. But I think it would be more toward Gunn, because Gunn seems to have this ability of taking less liked or lesser known villains and making them greater. But yeah, as of right now, it's all meetings. Nothing has been said or confirmed. But I just think that, you got two opposite forces doing great things, but I think they need to go ahead and come together on this.
See,
I really do think that.
I could see Gunn doing Professor Pig because that could get closer to his trauma roots, but still keep it PG-13.
I can see that. But yeah, it'll be interesting when they go to. Oh, and I almost forgot, we got to jump back to Marvel one more time because this is right up in Joe's alley. Marvel is also for Stranger Things. I forgot the actress name that saved my life right now.
Sankey.
Sadie Sink. There we go.
Yep.
Sadie Sink, the young lady right there, who is also in Stranger Things, also a great Netflix show if you haven't seen it. Marvel is reportedly eyeing her to play Songbird in the upcoming Thunderbolts. So, Joe, this is usually your area of expertise. So, just in case people don't know about Songbird, mind filling this in because this is a new one on me.
She is. Songbird was originally a Masters of Evil character named Screaming Mimi who had a terrible clown montage because she was a pro wrestler for Superhuman Pro Wrestling, and then became a supervillain during the Thunderbolts era, who was pretty much the centralized character along with Zemo and Jolt in the book.
Okay.
But if this is true and does come to be true, her power now is that harness she's wearing lets her make her voice into hard sound constructs.
Okay.
So pretty much her harness makes her pretty much like a Green Lantern ring.
Gotcha.
So the thing with this is if we already know who the Thunderbolts are from the poster, but if we are getting these characters slowly, then that means these are the Zemo's Thunderbolts that he's like slowly gathering in the raft.
Which will make
that we're getting faked out like we were with Suicide Squad and like maybe Bucky and so-and-so or Bucky and Black Widow's little sister, new Black Widow.
Yeah. I can't remember the actress name. Oh shoot.
Something Pugh.
Yolanda Pugh?
Yeah, Yolanda.
Yeah, Yolanda Pugh. I like her. She is. What is wrong, Kate Bishop? I make you mac and cheese. We're friends. You just tried to kill me.
This is true.
I'm sorry, this still sticks in my head.
So we're gonna probably see, and if the rumors are true, we're going up against either Hyperion or Sentry, meaning Zemo's bolts are gonna try and steal the glory and take out whichever version it is to prove that they are the new hero team in the world.
Okay.
To assert the Avengers, which I don't think are around at the moment, but I think they're slowly regathering. But we know what the Thunderbolts are, but now we got the Zemo bolts, which are the original Thunderbolts. So don't be surprised if we start seeing mysterious rumor castings for Meteorite, Atlas, Beetle Mark II, and the Fixer pretty shortly.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's good to know. But thank you for that, Joe. But yeah, right now, like I said before, it's reported. Nothing has been confirmed as of yet. Just like Henry Cavill, it might be playing a character in the MCU. Again, hasn't been confirmed yet. Although, shout out to Ki Hwai, and forgive me if I mispronounce your name, Ki Hwai-yeon, who did win an award for everything, anywhere, everywhere, everything at once. Yes. He actually won an award and was personally asked by Kevin Feige to play a role in the MCU. So I just want to give that man a shout out because
if all those Loki season 2.
Yeah. I'm hoping, like I said, I have ideas for roles I hope he gets to take, but like I said before, just want to give that man a shout out. Jumping back to
Michelle for getting the Golden Globe and telling them to shut up or I will beat you up.
That was amazing. Michelle, yeah, I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna tell that woman no personally. But yeah, fun. It was a great time of the awards on the awards for really a lot of things. But jumping to DC real quick, this does answer our question about Superman Lois season 3. Elizabeth Tulloch, who plays Lois Lane on the show, did post a video saying, I picked these glasses because they remind me of Margaret Kidder's in this pick. So she did reveal that they are moving forward with season 3 on the CW in March. They didn't say exactly when in March, which is kind of interesting. That'd be March 11th because hey, that'd be a wonderful birthday present. So we do know that Superman Lois will get a season 3. Will that be the final season on CW? Remains to be determined. Considering the Flash and its season 9 will be also airing, and it's a abbreviated season. I would assume Superman Lois is probably gonna get the full season 3 treatment concerning their ratings. But Joe, what do you think?
I'm down.
I mean, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Like, it's Lois Lane. Either she's wearing glasses or she's not. It's not like she's Earth 3 Lois Lane where she's Power Princess.
Yeah.
Or no, not that's Squadron Supreme. Where she's Superwoman.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for it just because, number one, Superman and Lois has probably been one of the better shows on CW. The casting has been great. The stories have been great. How they've been telling a lot of the villains, cannot complain. So, if this is going to be the final season, I mean, let's be honest, all great things need to come to an end, specifically before season 5, because unfortunately, that's how Greg Berlanti built the Arrowverse. He did not build it to last, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised by that. Aside from that, I would hope that would go to HBO Max, but let's be honest, right now, Warner Brothers Discovery is
not doing itself any favors.
Yeah. That's like I said, it's a toss up, but at least we can look forward. To another season of Superman and Lois come March, along with the Flash, that somehow Stephen Amell is going to be a part of, and yet they're not going to explain that. But anyway, I guess we're going to go ahead and move on, guys. That's really the news that we have. So we're going to go into our comic pulls of the week. So Joe, all you, sir.
This is Amazing Spider-Man number 17. This is written by Zeb Wells with art by Ed McGuinness, inks by Cliff Rathburn, and coloring by Marco Menez. I will say right now, this is probably the weakest the book has been for Dark Web for me, because this book isn't really even about Peter. This is about the rise of the Spider-Man of Limbo. I really don't care. I will say I do find it funny that Limbo is forcing J. Jonah Jameson to act in his old role, and Jonah's like, I don't do that anymore.
I love that.
It's like,
no, we need more anger.
It's like, that's just abusive. That's just being abusive to my coworkers. I don't do that anymore.
Say you need Tasty's pictures of Spider-Man. Do it.
Yeah, but like I said, in the grand scheme of things, we have a small like verbal spat between Ben and Peter, but like the crux of this book is really about establishing the Spider-Man of Limbo, which is a minor demon that gets a symbiote ? And becomes
Wreck-Rap.
Wreck-Rap.
Yeah, Wreck-Rap.
So, like I said, this is probably the weakest the book has been to me. Ed McGuinness, still decent art. Yeah, that's all I really got to say on this.
Especially the Insidious 6.
Oh yeah, the Insidious 6. Pete's just like, oh honey.
The Insidious 6. I'm sorry, that was funny. I was like, it's just like, okay, you're right. It was probably one of the weirder books, but my God, that was. You just see Peter just like, I know it's supposed to be limbo, but why does it feel like purgatory? But anyway, you're right. It wasn't really one of the strong ones, but just wow.
Yeah. Next up, we got X-Men number 18 with Jerry Dugan. Art by C.F. Vila, colors by Matt Milla, and lettering by Clayton Cowles. This is just the fallout from the last time that last X-Men issue that was not part of Dark Web. So Forge went into the bubble where the children of the city were and found original Laura, who was not killed on the last mission. So now they are reunited, and it's just like Laura hanging out with younger Laura, trying to establish the ground rules while in the middle of an Exterminators book, which I do hope that keeps going because I just want that Grindhouse comic just to be able to turn my brain off and have fun. But we do establish some ground rules. Laura will be Laura. She will not take the name Wolverine. Younger Laura rightfully says, like, I earned this name. I'm keeping the title. I do like that older Laura's like, basically you're all Gabbies to me at this point. You have no idea how old I am. I think really like letting people know that he still synced with Jean Grey was like a running thing in this book.
Yeah.
So because he told at least 5 or 6 different people, I'm still synced with Jean Grey. I know what you're talking about.
I was like, wow, are we running with the Iron Fist line? That's what it kind of felt like. It's like, oh, we know, Sync. We know you're still connected to Jean Grey. We got it.
But I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is just a 2 loving members reuniting right before crap hits the fan because the Brood are coming back, and I think Scott's going to be an orphan now. I think the Summer Brothers are all orphans now.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes with the Summers. Either that, they become hostile. You only got 2 avenues you can go with. You can be hostile, you can be an orphan.
They got 2 out of 3. 3 out of 4 aren't hostile.
True, but there's that one.
Yeah,
there's always one.
I mean, there's Adam X. He's just like around. They acknowledge his existence.
That's the thing about it is there's always one.
Look, one's doing well for himself with his wife and possibly Wolverine. One's in therapy, rightfully so. One's encased up on Morocco and Mars.
Yeah.
And one's a host of a television fight show.
So all in all, it's not all bad. It's not all bad.
All in all, Alex is still probably the sanest one possible.
The most well-adjusted.
Yeah. I still love that thing. You're in therapy? Look, I just want to help. Yeah, I'll consider it later.
Oh, wow. He's the one. He's the most well-adjusted. Oh, wow. You ain't wrong.
I love that because my favorite era of X Factor is 90s X Factor, where like Havoc was just screaming and yelling everything.
That is true. That is very true. Oh, God.
Moving on over, we got Daredevil number 7. This is written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Rafael De La Torre and Marchichetto, inks by Elisabetta D'Amico, and colors by Matt Wilson. This is the penultimate issue, or at least for this arc. This is like right before the crap goes down because Daredevil is gathering his army of the Fist to go against the Hand, as seen back here. Frank and his Hand demon armor.
Yeah.
Just them trying to do some good in New York before dropping one of their members off because the members like, look, this is fantastic and all, but I really got to go find my son. And then at the end of it, the son gets kidnapped by the Hand. So to work. I also like that Daredevil still carrying around John Walker's shield sometime.
That was interesting. I was like, well, you figure you might as well keep it. It's like he's not looking for it anytime soon. No, it was. I agree. It was definitely a good issue. The fact that just Daredevil, I kept looking like, Matt, you are slowly becoming Batman, sir. He's like, he kept on saying, especially when he stopped Bullet, he says, wait a minute, no, violence was necessary. Pow! I was like, he was just gonna punch him, but you're gonna stop him and say, well, you would have enjoyed it. And he just looks at him and goes, Teapot, have you met Kettle? It's like you enjoyed it
the
too.
The difference between this and Dark Knight Returns is this is readable. Oh yeah, where he tells Elektra, it's like, I mean, just like you, my queen.
Dang.
Just gives his wife a dirty look. Wife gives it equally back, but she also recognizes, no, he's right.
That's still, it was.
I'm enjoying this. I can't wait to see it. The only problem I have with this whole storyline is that Matt should have never been told or figured out it was Frank until the final issue where they got fighting, and he shows like when they start fighting the hand, he's like, "Oh shit, I know this heartbeat."
It would make for an interesting twist to him to find that out. But at the same time, I'm on the other side. I do like the fact of that he knows it's Frank, and he knows Frank is a tortured soul, but he still believes that Frank has some good in him, but he's being twisted. So it's almost like it's really like almost he still wants to save Frank, even though Frank is like, he's, let's be honest, you gave somebody who enjoys killing, you basically gave him an army, and expect him to do exactly what he's going to do. But no, it sets up for a great episode. It does set up for the fist and the hand to finally go at it, and for what Matt may or may not do against Frank. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm looking forward to it. I really did like this issue.
Moving on over, we have Flash 790. This is written by Jeremy Adams, art by Roger Cruz, inks by Matt Banning and Wellington Diaz, colors by Luis Guerrero. This is the start of the 1 Minute War. The 1 Minute War is only going to be 3 issues long.
Okay.
Alien Force comes in, and apparently only the speedsters can actually interact with them because apparently they have frozen the Earth in place.
Yeah.
So the speedsters weren't affected. We go around and see what each speedster is doing. Wally's having a cookout with the majority of his friends. So this is post-crisis too.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see some of the Green Arrow family there because Roy's there with Cheshire. And she's like, so how do you two know each other? We're friends. Like side-eye each other. We're friends.
It's still funny.
Max Mercury's out in the desert. I think he is only able to see the ship entering, so he's unaffected. Jay is doing, I think Jay's in a bar.
Yeah.
Doing that. Bart is screwing around with Wallace, rightfully so. Where Wallace is like, you knew about this the whole time. It's like, no, I did not. It's like, and Wallace like, right, was like, you just want to be Kid Flash, and Bart's like, yeah, yellow doesn't work for me.
Dang.
And Barry is with Iris, where Iris is trying to tell him, like, all right, Barry, get your life together. Come on, we need to spend our lives together. She's going to propose to him, and then everything freezes, and we think that Iris has been killed. So that's part 1 of the 1 Minute War. I'm thinking it. Flash continues to be fantastic. I love that this reminds me of the old Wade run where we do have a lot of speedsters.
Yeah.
But it's one of those weird things where you have a large family, but like everything they face, it's one of those, it still works despite that everyone has the same power.
Yeah.
It's like everyone just runs real fast. I run real fast. All right, you're in the Flash family now. Yay.
Pretty much.
But
no, go ahead.
They have problems that only they can solve. It's not like they can call Superman because, like, when Batman has to talk with Superman, Superman's like, I've already defeated the villain. We need to talk.
True. But no,
Flash, he deals with things that the Justice League just can't deal with sometimes because they move on such a level of speed or think it's such a pace that only they can perceive it.
Yeah. But no, I agree with you on that one. The fact that how they're starting 0 hour, that's why I had to go back and read it. Like, wait a minute, so that's also the whole thing about them actually stopping the Earth's rotation and stopping time, which is why Barry and Wally and everybody else was like, am I running right now, or why is it? Although Barry was kind of more thankful for everybody else. He's like, wait a minute, I know she's not about to try to. Oh, time froze. Oh, I'm not running. Oh, this is actually real. Oh crap. But no.
This is bad.
Yes. The look at his face like, oh no, I must have been running. And then you just see Iris like, don't you dare try to run out of this situation. It's like that level of petty.
The level of petty came from that one time where Linda and Iris teamed up. It's like, have you ever thought about kids? That requires Barry to be here.
Yeah. that was still damn. But
On
no.
over book of the week, unsurprisingly. What's up?
No. Go ahead, because I know I was laughing at the book of the week because I figured that's where you're gonna end on that one. That's why I was like, that's why I started.
Oh
laughing.
yeah, book. Well, I'm not ending on this one, but this is book of the week. Human Target, book number 10, written by Tom King, art and inks by Greg Smallwood. You know it's serious because Gnort's here. So, whole thing, the Guy Gardner is not dead. It was an elaborate ruse the whole time with light constructs. Gnort gets drunk. I can't remember, does he barf on the Guardian or does he knock the Guardian out inadvertently?
He knocks the
both.
Guardian out, and still he does both. He doesn't barf for the Guardian. He does barf in the room, but he does knock out the Guardian.
So because this is technically a JLI book, Chance just goes to the easiestly susceptible being there is. Surprisingly, not Booster Gold or Ted, but Gnort. So he gets Gnort drunk enough to where not only does he trick into revealing that Guy Gardner's alive and well and where Guy is, but makes him take him to Oa to the records room, to where Guy learns that Guy, despite what he seems, has a full file on Chance in every single thing he's been through.
Yeah.
Of course, we also learn who the real villain is, which, if you know this kind of book, you know who it was from Jump Street.
Yeah. But still, the whole thing. He says, I've been searching for this dude, and he was just 20 freaking minutes away. He's like, and the funny part runs in the guy. He's like, "Are we really about to have this?" He says, "Look, if you didn't have that ring," he goes, "Oh, so that's the problem? Yeah, okay, fine."
Which is hilariously ironic because that is the issue we covered in the Bwahaha podcast, was issue 52 in Justice League International, where Blue Beetle does box with Guy Gardner. Guy runs his mouth and immediately gets knocked on his butt within the first 5 seconds of the round.
But still using his ailments against him, though. He's like, "Oh, so you're supposed to let the ring know what your weaknesses are, but you didn't say anything about your peanut allergy." Whap. Oh, by the way, I have an EpiPen, so let's talk. I was like, this petty. But it does set up for why he goes back to Ice, and he basically says, "Why did you agree to this?" It's like why did you ask Guy to go through all this elaborate rusing? Why did I have to get my ass kicked by Red Rocket just for him to sit there and just chill out while I'm dying in 3 days?
I would have asked a more important question. Why did I have to resort to going to Gnort?
That is also, I mean, that to me was the beauty part of the issue. Just the fact that Gnort reminds me of Haggard from Harry Potter. I shouldn't have said that. You just waiting for the part like, yeah, I didn't that was an orientation. I didn't really pay attention to orientation. Oh man,
I love this book so much. It's like a perfect comic every time.
It was funny. That I have to say, this was probably one of this issue of the Human Target I enjoyed more, just because Gnort, and the simple fact of the matter is, all Chance did was just basically get him alcohol. He basically did everything else.
I'm waiting for the last issue to actually have Batman in it, and we learn that Batman's been working this case the same time as Chance, and he just hands Chance the antidote.
Chance will be, you know what? Chance may not even argue. He says, of course, Batman's been working on it. He's Batman. It's almost like that. Of course, he was working on it. He's Batman. But no, I enjoyed this issue. It was really good.
It was so good. We have one additional issue, and that's only because Moon Knight took on a super classic villain, and I could not pass up the fact that he's taking on an enhanced subway conductor, who is an old classic villain of his, who also used to be drive a submarine. His name is Commodore Planet. His only ability is that he becomes invulnerable if he focuses on it really hard. So again, I added this only because of the deep pool, but there are some things here that are pretty prevalent. So we learned last time that Hunter's Moon died and was resurrected by Khonshu. He tells towards the end, he tells Mark, "Hey, Khonshu's still imprisoned," and he told me right before he resurrected me, which by the way, he resurrected me slightly wrong, so I can't take the costume off and go out in the normal guise right now. So he tells Marcus like, "Hey, if either you and I die without freeing Khonshu, we don't get resurrected next time."
Damn.
Oh, and also Zodiac is talking to a new therapist, and the therapist just ticks off Zodiac.
I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go read this one because I'm like, just Commodore Planet, and that's the name. That's the name.
No, his full name is Commodore Donning Planet.
Oh, they just made some.
The crux of this one is. So the crux of the whole issue is the mole people from the Mole Man come to Moon Eye's like, "Hey, this subway train keeps coming through our hills, through our lands, and we can't get him to stop. Can you stop him?" So you know it's bad when the mole people are like, "Hey,
yeah,
we keep invading our kingdom. Can you help us out?" Moon Eye's like, "Sure."
Oh man.
I mean, he even asked them point blank, like, "So where's Mole Man and all this?" Like, he's out doing something we don't know.
He's out to lunch, apparently. No, I have to go back and read this one because I have enjoyed Moon Knight. I was like, the fact I meant to catch up, but things to read and follow and whatnot. I kind of got lost in the sauce, but I have to go back and read that issue because
good old Commodore Donnie Planet.
God.
Yeah, that's been it on me.
Cool. I'm sorry, Commodore Planet's sticking in my head right now. Thanks for that, Joe. That being
He's
said,
slightly
guys,
more powerful than Captain Planet.
Oh, okay. That being said, guys, we do want to give a shout out to Rick's Comic City. They do support us here at Give It Podcast. We always want to show love and give support back to them. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, whether you're in Nashville, Clarksville, or Fort Campbell, Kentucky, please check out each of their locations. Also, check out their website at rickscomiccity.com. Voted Nashville's #1 place for comic books. So definitely check them out and let them know we sent you. You don't get no discounts, but hey, at least you let them know we sent you. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, please support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries, just because they are the last areas, and I mean last areas, to where you can find comic books, anime, manga, all types of multimedia. Whether you support your local comic stores or whether you do so at your libraries using your library card to keep up to date on everything that comes out. So again, guys, like I said, if you're in the Middle Tennessee area, support Rick's Comic City. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, please support your local comic book stores and libraries. They will definitely be thankful. As we're bringing this to a close, Joe, anything you want to let the people know that you're doing over the weekend into the next week?
I will be streaming One Piece Odyssey. I'll just start a brand new game. I'm not that far in, so that's not going to hinder me too badly. I got a couple of Battle Spirit stuff coming out. I'm going to be reviewing the red portion of the Gundam collaborative set that came out in Japan. So Char's Counterattack.
Nice.
Going to be looking at all the character cards because that's the most. Unsurprisingly, the least amount of cards is Gundam Seed Destiny because no one cares about that second season of Gundam Seed. Series so bad that the main protagonist got replaced by the primary protagonist in the last season.
You're not wrong, but damn. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but damn.
When you had to abort your version of Zeta and make it double Zeta, you done something wrong.
No argument there.
Other than that, I mean, there are some My Hero Academia stuff. I'm just waiting to see if there's anything that interests me that I want to cover. We're going all over all the stuff because this set is League of Villains. It's coming out soon, so it goes from the camping trip part to the final showdown between All Might and All For One.
Okay.
Which All Might and All For One have a 2-deck clash pack where you get full decks of All Might and All For One.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've already confirmed the majority of the villains and whatnot. So, That is what it is. I'm trying to still support game, but like I just can't get to a card shop as much as I used to anymore. So, definitely the One Piece over on the Twitch. I'm gonna try and keep the YouTube channel more towards trading card games and thing, mostly because Relayer didn't really net me any views. But Twitch is always fun. Plus, I'm gonna be playing as Nico Robin the whole time.
Oh, also, let people know about the podcast you're on this week, sir.
Yes. You will be able to. I was on the Fire and Water Network. They are a very expansive comic book, mostly dealing with classic comics, but sometimes they have normal ones. I was on their JLI podcast, known as the Bwahaha podcast. I put my name on there in 2017 to do issue 52. This Tuesday, I finally got to record it. 5 years later.
Hey.
I'm a patient person when I want to be.
Hey, 5 years waiting. Nothing wrong with that.
Wrote my own comedy material. We had a fantastic time. The episode will come out the 22nd, so next Sunday. Talked about everything. We reviewed a very famous issue of the JLI, which is the prelude to the falling apart of the book. Like story-wise, that's where the series starts to go downhill canonically in the story, where the team starts fracturing and whatnot. Then we talked about my cosplaying and all the charity stuff we do. Shouted out everybody I possibly could. Our channel, our show, every version of cosplay I'm possibly a part of.
Which is a lot.
Got to parody the famous Boost to Gold episode of Justice League Unlimited. Let me do that. So, had a good time. It was fantastic. We'll hopefully have Shag on very, very soon. Shag does a lot of stuff of Who's Who, general talking, big Doctor Who fan, wonderful, wonderful, sweet guy. Through sheer coincidence, small world, when I was in the middle school I went to is the middle school his daughter goes to now. And when I lived in Tallahassee.
Small world.
Very
Definitely.
small.
Very small world.
We won't name it because privacy is important.
Oh no, I understand that. But thanks for that, Joe. So of course, like Joe said, you can catch him on his YouTube page at Total Justice Gaming, at his Twitter page at Joe Italian last name. But definitely like and share as he does do cosplay because he does a mean Moon Knight. How do I know this? Because I've seen it. I have a story behind it. That's how I know he can be intimidating because I've seen it. Because long story short, if you ever see Joe as Mr. Knight in person, I say this with all love in the world. Joe is a very friendly, warm, and acceptable guy. He just looks menacing when he's cosplaying. But trust me, he's friendly. Say what?
It helps when you're fat.
Yeah, but you
got a diet now.
Yeah, but you kind of intimidated like 3 grown men, which is kind of impressive. That's all I'm saying. But you intimidated 3 grown men because you were surrounded by my nieces and nephews, but you intimidated 3 grown men. That is still funny to me. Before we do get out of here, like I said before, thank you for that, Joe. And also, we do want to do some shameless promotions as we always do. Shout out to my friend at Vaughn, Big BZA who always shares and promotes our stuff. Certainly appreciate that. You can definitely catch him on all socials at Big BZA as he does TikToks, as he does beats, and his random what ifs. Definitely like and share and follow him there. Of course, for yours truly, guys, you can find me on most socials at BlackFax447. You can like and follow me as I usually post reviews, everything that I read, that I watch, that I play, and gym stuff, because sometimes I do a couple push-ups. At the same time, guys, the link at the bottom, let me make that just a little bit bigger for you guys to see. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, it'll take you to our YouTube and Facebook groups that have the links and podcasts to everything that we do. How the Frack We Got Here, Get Bit Podcast, of course, Off Limits. Definitely like, share, and follow. Like I said, we want to know you guys' opinions on everything that we've covered thus far. Not only on this podcast, but other things, because we still want to know what you guys really do think of everything that we've covered, especially things that are coming up. Keep in mind, we're not too far off from the first phase first Phase 4 movie of the MCU, which is Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. So we will see the beginning of the multiverse saga from there, along with other things that we've covered. So we definitely want your opinions on those things, as we will be back here, guys. Same Get Bit time, same Bit Gambit channel next Friday. Hopefully on time, because equipment failure, it happens. I apologize for that, because that was my equipment that was failing. But we'll be back here, guys, back 7 p.m. or as things would change, because like I said before, life changes, as Joe has so eloquently said, and of course my life is changing as well. So we will make the most of it. Also, I do stress this very heavily, just because for Joe's profession, as well as for those that work in the healthcare industry, guys, we're getting back to mask time again. And I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but hey, I like breathing and surviving. So if you're going to be out and about, especially in heavy traffic areas, please wear a mask. If you're traveling, please wear a mask. If you feel sick, please stay at home, because right now those numbers are going right back up again. And we definitely don't want to be back to where we were just simply a year ago. Let's actually try to do better than that. Protect ourselves in order to protect others. So with that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Joe, any last words, sir, before we call it a day?
No, I'm good this time.
Really? Nothing?
I mean, I got a cold, so
Oh, I was going to say.
I don't think I have a cold. I think I have that thing some people get, and I get it when the temperature goes.
Oh, the weather changes.
30, 70, 20, 40.
Yeah, you get that temporary feeling from hot to cold. When you go from hot to cold to hot, and it just wreaks havoc on you. It just wreaks havoc on you.
Oh, yeah.
Happens to me. Well, this is odd. Joe has nothing in the chamber. Well, I feel I don't know how I feel. Anyway, that being said, guys, he's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Give It Podcast. Thank you all for watching. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and we will all get through this. Have a good night, guys. Peace.